Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Miller, and I'm excited to share this next art project with you. And it's called our Origami Wish Tree Project. And it's going to go along with our 2021 Global Traveling Mural Project that we talked about during the last couple of weeks. And so when we were brainstorming with all of you, on what our mural could be this year, a lot of things that kept popping up were trees. And I started thinking about trees that I saw when I traveled to India with Hagen and my husband Eric a few years ago. And on these trees, they're called wish trees, and people write their wishes and then they attach them to the tree. So I started thinking about these trees and wishes and things that I wanted to teach you this year. And the thought of hearts came up in my head. And that was another theme that came up too as you brainstormed over the last few weeks just about what our mural would be about. And so I thought that it would be really cool for everyone to create a heart to go onto a giant tree on our mural. And we could make a wish tree out of origami hearts. And our middle and high school, they're actually doing origami too in their mural, and they're going to be making paper cranes. And so I thought that would be a neat thing to do to tie in origami also to our elementary mural that we will send to 9 other places around the world. And so we don't have our schools yet, but we will in the next few days, we'll have the schools that we're going to be paired up for our global traveling mural. And so we're excited about that too. So we're going to start just by talking about what origami is. And so think about this question and maybe turn to the people sitting next to you and share in a few seconds what you think origami is. How do you describe that? So if you said something along the lines of paper folding, you are correct because origami is the art of paper folding, which is often associated with Japanese culture. So I found this really cool video that also has some history, and we're going to watch this quick just to give us a little bit more background on the origin of origami and the history behind it.
Welcome back to Origami for Kids. Today we're going to learn more about origami. Instead of learning about all the cool different shapes that we can create with origami, we're going to learn more about what origami actually is. Origami is a 7-letter word spelled O-R-I-G-A-M-I. The word origami was derived from 2 small words, oru and kami. In Japanese, oru means to fold and kami means paper. When you put those 2 words together, you get fold paper, which is exactly what origami is. And after some time, instead of oru kami, it became origami. And now that's the word that we use today to describe Japanese paper folding. Before origami became popular in America and in the Western world, it was created in ancient Japan, all the way across the Pacific Ocean. Long before origami became what we know it to be today, it was used strictly for ceremonial and religious purposes. This was because handmade paper was a luxury item that very few people could access. Through Akira Yoshizawa's great skill and expertise, origami became an art form. During his lifetime, Akira Yoshizawa has created more than 50,000 models of origami and has published more than 18 books. He is known today as the Grand Master of Origami. The history of origami would not be complete without Sadako Sasaki's story. She was a 2-year-old Japanese girl who was a victim of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. As a result of the bombing, she was diagnosed with leukemia. As her sickness got worse, Sadako was forced to spend most of her time in the hospital. But she refused to give up. She wanted everyone in Hiroshima to heal and for the world to be at peace again. She had heard of a Japanese legend that promised that whoever could fold 1,000 cranes would be rewarded with a wish and eternal happiness. Sadako was a very brave and determined girl, so she sought to fold 1,000 cranes. Unfortunately, she only folded 644 when she died. After Sadako died, her family and friends finished the 1,000 cranes for her, and today her legacy continues to live on, and many people continue to fold 1,000 cranes in search of hope and happiness. Today, Sadako's story lives on through the Hiroshima Children's Peace Monument, the act of folding 1,000 cranes, and greatest of all, her story. And that's a short story about the history of origami. Thank you so much for watching today. Please like and welcome back to Origami for Kids.
I thought that was so interesting, and now I can't wait to have you try to make an origami heart. And I did this at home and it was really fun, and I actually used a couple different papers and also some different patterns. And we have paper available for you to do this that are either patterned, which have really cool patterns. I love it because the pattern on the front might be like some of these floral and Japanese type looking patterns. And then on the back, it will be like a solid color. And we also have just plain paper too. And so you have a choice of the color and what you want to do. Now, I found this easy video for folding an origami heart, and this one is a little bit easier than the one that I'm going to show you next, but I'm not going to play this right now because you're going to have the slides and you're going to have this video to follow along. And what I did when I made mine is I actually didn't even have to pause as I went. I watched it and I made 2 hearts. I made a heart, and then I washed it again and I made another heart. And so if you would like to do that, if you have time, you can do that as well. And so we'll share that video in a minute so then you can follow along on your computer too.
Hello.
Now,
Today
the other one that is also really nice is the pocket heart. Now, know that both of these hearts actually have kind of a little pocket in the back, and they're very similar. I just found that watching the video was a little bit easier for me, but if you're more of a person who likes to see the directions like this, then you can follow along with this one too. And this is just from one of our capstone ebooks all about making holiday origami. So once you get your heart done, there's a little pocket in the back. And what we're going to do is we're then going to write a wish to go into your heart. And we're going to then fold it up, and you'll all have a little piece of paper, and then it will go inside the heart. And so when we attach them to the tree, or maybe we'll put some in the envelopes when we send our global mural pieces off to other people around the world, when they open it up, then the kids and the teachers in that school community will be able to see your wishes and to see our wish tree. So I'm really excited about the Van Meter Wish Tree Global Mural Project. I'm so happy that we're all going to collaborate and make this together. And so now we're going to share a choice board and you'll be able to follow along too. So have fun.